Good day, ladies. It's good to see your faces, and welcome to this month's episode of The Breeze. I'm here in the studio. Obviously, you guys are at home, and we're doing this by Zoom, which is a new technology to me, and hopefully that we'll be able to bring you this show with all of its glory. And tell me, Margie, Tina, how you doing?
We're doing well. I mean, for me, this is a great accomplishment to learn how to do Zoom. I was eager to get back and keep the breeze going here, let it blow for a while. I know we've been running some reruns and you did a great one last week. We're glad to be back.
How about you, Tina?
Oh, did you say something? I'm sorry. I'm so busy trying to figure out what I'm going to have for dinner. I'm sorry. I'm so glad to be here. It just seems like all I think about is what I'm going to eat. But it's so great to see everybody, and I'm looking forward to this new technology, and I think it's going to be fun.
Well, good. I'm wearing a mask because I'm in the studio, which I don't like to do, but it's all part of the new normal. And,
You got that?
We've got a new normal now. We've got to adapt to it, whether we like it or not. And let me ask you guys, who have you become in the new normal?
Well, I tell you, I got a new hobby now. You know, I used to collect, and I still do, recyclable bags to, for groceries. So now my new thing is collecting masks, fashion. I figure if I got to wear them, I might as well be fashionable.
Okay, well, how about you, Marge?
Well, I've really been an indoor person here for a long time, and I try now to get out, get amongst people, even if it's just going on a golf court ride, just to go out and see what's happening in the world, using the pool a few times, but also just, cherishing some of the alone time as well, and grateful.
Well, I'll tell you that that brings up an interesting point, because I think one of the big losses, if you will, is the lack of the ability to have a socialization or a social life, and to get out and actually have some human-to-human contact is so important to a good experience here at Sun City. And I just wonder how you guys have been coping with that. I still try to do all the things I do anyway that are not prohibited, absolutely. And
Yeah.
That makes me a little bit happier.
Well, I don't have a golf cart like some of you do, but, I'll go out to Lake Somerset and have impromptu picnics, bring my drink of choice and have a sandwich with friends. Margie and I did that. We tried to get in touch with you, but you were too busy.
Well, I think for me, I'm alone, a lot of time, which I really enjoy, but I think not knowing that I could socialize, maybe more eager to do so and more frustrated. And I have to admit, there are times when I don't need a bit of groceries, but I will go up to Food Line and just walk around and shop. Isn't that clever? Because I'm around people. And it gives them an opportunity to engage with them. Now, usually it's just a hello, or you smile and you hope they see your eyes. But it's a communication. And that's what I miss, and not being able to go up and down the street or holler at a neighbor or sit in the backyard and talk or something. So it's a socialization.
It's really strange. It seems like the parking lot of the grocery stores are always full. I'm going like, are people really eating that much, or they just want to be out and about like you, Margie?
I mean, if I have 4 bananas and think I might need 5, it's worth the trip. Go get the extra banana. I feel better.
Well, I'll tell you, if you look at some of my neighbors, they're eating all that food. Present company excluded, of course.
Oh, of course.
But, it does point out the fact that people crave that kind of contact, and they want to resume the activities that they have come to enjoy here at Sun City. And some of that is the new normal sort of prevents it. They limit the size of the club meeting. People are still afraid of mixing and mingling at any level.
Yeah.
And, you know, have you noticed any, real big changes in the attitudes of people that you meet, or have you changed yourself in some way?
Well,
Well,
I
for me,
think, go on,
I
Tina.
started calling some of the people from my past. It's really bizarre. It's like I start thinking about these people from, college and old lovers and things like that. I've even had conversations with my ex-boyfriend, and it's like, really?
Well, remembrance is okay.
Yeah, but I have to remember, it's remembering why we broke up.
Well, if they were old boyfriends then, think how old they are now.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the reasons why I'm going, what is he like now?
How about you, Marge?
What was the question?
Well, the question was, have you changed, or do you feel like you have changed in any way, or become more introspective even, or
Yes,
self-analytical?
yes, I have changed. Um, I've been very non-productive. And when all this started, and it was like, oh, well, I have a few weeks here, I'll clean those mini blinds. I'll go out and pull weeds. I'll do the big cleaning that I haven't done, that all is still as is. So obviously I was just in my head building what I could do. And then when I want to, it's like, why would I want to do that? Let me read this book instead, or let me go for a walk, or let me go to Food Lion. And so it's strange. I'm not that motivated as I thought that this would be an opportunity to do those things. Another observation is that I'm a fan of Sun City Facebook, and I think there's a whole lot of acceptance and encouragement now that there wasn't at the beginning, because I think that fear factor was greater. We were afraid of being taken away from, and now I rarely see complaints. And people, I think, are just grateful to be on it. And we've settled into it. And we don't want to do that too much. We don't want it to be, this is it from now on. But just to accept where we are, I think that's important. It's not going to change anytime real soon, but it will come around again, I believe.
I think, Margie, some of the things that I'm enjoying is the new technology, like, what we're doing now. My mother, who is 90 years old, is using Duo, which is like a FaceTime kind of thing. And it's fantastic because now she lives in LA, at least I can see her to know physically how she's doing. I can get an image. My bestie down in Florida, we had a great, girls chat. So those kinds of things I'd like to see continue. And I wouldn't have done it or even really considered it if it hadn't been for the current consequences.
Well, you know how I feel about technology in general, but I've become more creative as well in communicating during this period. And so I've expanded my horizons some. I think a lot of people are maybe out of boredom, or maybe because they wanted to do something for a long time, have done things like that do-it-yourself project that they put off for all that time, or they're purging their closets. I hear a lot of that.
Yeah.
You mentioned cleaning. My neighbor is baking bread every week and delivering me a loaf.
I can tell, Doug.
Okay. Well, you've mentioned a lot of things, and we went out on the street to talk to some residents about how they're coping with the last few months and what steps they've taken to improve their lives, and they were pretty interested. Well, Gary, it's been a long 4 to 5 months here that we've been sort of half quarantined or fully quarantined. How have you made your way through that?
Well, luckily, been able to play golf. Golf is one of those sports where you can easily socially distance, riding in our own carts. I've also, as sounds kind of funny now, but I've been taking Spanish classes online through an app called Duolingo. So that's kind of how I've been spending my time. I have some issues that make it hard for me to get out in public in big crowds or anything, so I've been spending a lot of time My wife says I ought to learn how to cook more, but that's probably not going to happen.
Well, it's interesting that you developed some new interests. And how has it affected, do you think, your relationship with family and with your neighborhood friends?
I don't think it's affected because you have digital resources like Zoom or FaceTime to keep in touch with people that aren't here. We're still very close to our neighbors. We stand out and talk to each other from socially distanced away. So I don't think it's been a real problem. The biggest issue is the fact that a lot of the stuff that we used to do in Sun City and outside of Sun City is closed down.
Right.
There's a lot of the social functions at Magnolia Hall and Pinckney Hall that haven't been able to do, and obviously we miss those. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we moved here.
Well, have you become more adept with electronics?
I was actually pretty good to begin with, but I'm learning everything that I thought I knew, but I really don't know.
Well, we appreciate your time today. Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Roy, it's been a long time, and I know you're a very active member of this community in a lot of capacities. So, how have you fared during this hiatus, and what you've been doing to get through?
Well, I'm a neighborhood rep and the president of the Bocce Club, so we've been working with the Bocce Club in getting our court refurbished. The neighborhood, we've tried a couple of social outings, but it really hasn't worked out that well with the social distancing. But we did organize a big 4th of July parade for golf carts, motorcycles, and even bikes, which went all through the neighborhood and the judges, and we had a good event, actually a good event.
Well, that's excellent. And personally speaking, have you learned anything about yourself or other people? Had time to reflect?
Well, I'll tell you. There is no in-between in Sun City. People either have an opinion at 1 or they have an opinion at 99. And I have 7 children that have told me to watch myself because I'm in one of those high-risk categories with my heart wall. So I've done what I've been told and stayed inside, and basically I obeyed my kids.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. I found that out too. Did you learn anything about your neighbors or the people in general during this, or about yourself?
Pretty much the neighbors. I'm a neighborhood rep as well, and so the neighbors I was pretty comfortable with. Knew them fairly well. They're all really stand-up people. Everybody around the community. The one thing I thought interesting was how many people became bicyclers, became walkers, became joggers when the whole shutdown was going on. My wife and I actually bought a little miniature pickleball net, put it in our garage, and played in the garage for a while just to pass the time.
Now, did you pick up any other coping skills, any new interests, or did you read more, or did you start doing glass work? What'd you do?
I took on a home project, so like a lot of other people, modifications was really busy. I did some landscaping around my yard just to take care of that, because it was one of those projects that I'll get to it when I have time. Okay, I had time. So we sat down and did some edging around the gardens and stuff like that.
Well, thank you so much for your time today and your insights into how to get through one of these lulls, and hopefully we'll all be back to full normal shortly.
Oh, I hope so. We've got a bunch of things that we would like to be doing, but we're still kind of doing all right, we'll chill for a little while longer.
Most of the people that we talked to, as you noted, tried to continue the things they were doing, whether it was outside activities or writing or making music or doing whatever. And so they took a pretty positive attitude, though others have developed entirely new interests. And I think that's an interesting aspect of this. It may be a positive outcome for these people.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I noticed about myself is that I become a lot more skeptical. I've always been very trusting, very middle of the road. And now I think I'm watching more TV, probably too much TV. And I realize that you really have to filter that. You really have to pull back the curtain. Don't be too quick to make decisions, to make comments, to be offensive. It's Facebook too. It's like somewhere therein lies the truth. And so I think that's been a good lesson for me. And I'm just going to be more cautious going forward and not take so much at face value.
Well, I've been doing my happy by spending money when I can and doing things for the house. I mean, I got new hurricane shutters that are 8 to 10 weeks out, but at least I ordered them, and I got a new door fix. So I'm trying to do my share of keeping businesses occupied and running, and they appear to be very appreciative. I've used some of the delivery services to get food. I mean, again, like I said, food has been a priority. I'm trying to eat less, but eat good, because I'm not a good cook. That is not one of my strengths. So
Part of your happy?
uh,
That's not part of your happy?
that's not a part of my happy. Good wine is, and I got a case of wine during this, and hoping to share that. But I go to farmers markets, and Saturday, last Saturday, one of the local breweries has an outdoor market, so I go to that. So it's nice to kind of mull around and see people and be outside. So I think I've added to the economy in that regard.
You know, one thing that's a positive for me anyway, is that I've had to learn to be, I guess you'd call it, more in the moment and be more attentive to how people are reacting and to try to read them better so that I don't do something that upsets or offends or
Mhm.
is, you know, a little too sarcastic.
I know that's hard.
But seriously, I mean, I think that's been a positive thing that came out of this. I think we're all looking forward to being back being fully engaged. The other thing is that you see somebody that's a little bit down, and you try to, you know, be a more positive conversationalist. Doesn't do any good to be bitching and moaning about basic politics or the pandemic or whatever else is on your mind. And so I try to be more positive in that respect as well.
Switch up the script and talk about something else, you know? Do the little of that other stuff and then talk about something positive, you know, whether it's the fact that we're sequestered in a beautiful environment. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I got a lagoon in the back. I can see my gators. I can see my birds, you know, right outside my window. I think that's a blessing that I have that, you know, some are not entitled to because of where they live. So, you know, I try to count my blessings and recognize that I'm very, very lucky.
And I think we always have to know that we don't know what that person is really dealing with. This whole pandemic is probably just the icing on the cake for them. Or why me? Or I can't see my grandchildren, or what if something happens to me, who's going to, you know, I think we have to just take them where they are and just say, I know it's hard, but we're going to get through it. And I think sometimes people just need to be acknowledged that they feel pain and they have some sense of, well, somebody at least knows I'm here, you know, and that's so easy to do. I mean, you can do that when you reach for something for somebody in a wheelchair, you know, at Food Lion. I'm not paid to go to Food Lion, by the way. I do go to other stores too. It's just that that's golf cart.
Well,
So, you know, I think we are very fortunate, the three of us. We are mobile. We are acquainted in our neighborhoods. We have something to do around Sun City. We have a hobby of some kind, whether that's reading the newspaper or doing crossword puzzles or playing games or painting, whatever, dancing.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. It's that serenity prayer.
Yes.
God help me to accept the things I can change, wisdom to know the things I can't, and something to know the difference. I'm sorry, I really flubbed that up. I'm sorry, author. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. And we just, if we can be the one that smiles under our mask, maybe that's what somebody needs that day.
I have it if you want me to read it.
Yeah.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And then it goes on from there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very famous saying. Just to go off topic a little bit, one of the things that I really had missed was the presence of sports,
Yeah.
both to participate in and to spectate. And as you know, professional sports is back on the scene now. And it just lifts my spirits to see somebody out there doing something that's relatively normal. Brings us all together in different ways, and it sort of celebrates the human spirit, if you will,
Hmm.
for these people to get back out and compete under very trying conditions with no fan support and so on and so forth. They have to live in a bubble essentially to avoid becoming ill. So, but it's nice to have something to look at besides binge watching old Netflix stuff.
Yeah. Well, I have looked at more TV and streaming than I have in my whole life. And I've got some more to do. You get these deals and you go on and you say, okay, I got 30 days and then I'm going to cancel it. So I've got one coming up to cancel. So that means tonight I've got to get on there and watch a couple of things.
Okay. I suppose we could go through a movie review, but I declined to do that.
Well, I have to say that I did enjoy Hamilton, and the price I paid was much less expensive than the hundreds of dollars you had to pay for a ticket on Broadway. Plus, I got a chance to sit and pause, rewind, that I couldn't do if I was at a play.
Did you say rewind?
Yeah, there were parts I wanted to
No,
see.
it's a play on words.
Oh.
W-I-N-E.
Oh,
Refill.
rewind. Okay, yeah, rewind. You're absolutely right. I did some of that too.
I'm told by some people that watched Hamilton on TV that it was even better than the theater because you tend to miss stuff in the theater.
Yeah.
Watch it over and over on TV.
Yep.
And so, I miss going to, entertainment venues much as anybody. Savannah Theater closed for good. That was a terrific venue. And just getting out. I was supposed to go see Hamilton in Jacksonville last March. That was canceled. So,
Which in Jacksonville, the Doobie Brothers' 50th anniversary was this year. And I love Michael McDonald, but, I'll go see him next year.
yeah, I hear you. You didn't go to Sturgis, did you?
Yeah. Can you see me on a motorcycle?
Yeah, I think you look good in leather, Tina.
Oh, I definitely would look good. That's not my thing, though.
Okay.
I'm
Right,
still
I don't think you were there either, were you?
I'm looking for a rancher, not a biker.
Anyway, ladies, it's good to see you. It's nice to see that you're getting through this positively, and we hope that all of our neighbors and viewers are. We'd love to get some feedback from you. And we're going to continue to try to do this Zoom meeting for as long as we need to, but I would love to get back together face to face to talk.
I miss my coffee.
Yeah. Well, you
And I
can-
miss the people in the studio who
And the studio, yeah,
get us lined up and do it for us. And
yes,
for those of you who are there today, it still takes a team, doesn't it?
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, and we hope you enjoyed the show. And let's look forward to next month when we again shoot the breeze.